Good evening. It's been a while since I've been on here. Please, I'm not going to be long. I am going to be very short, but very precise. I'm going to hit the nail squarely on the head. Uh-oh, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. Don't talk, stay right there. All right, folks, you know, others will receive notification that Fahngon is on. I'm one of the very few persons revered in this country for being truthful, honest, and I tell it like I see it. A couple of things have happened, and I've given those who have had the opportunity to say their part, and I think it's important that I say my part to those things. Recently, Spoon TV conducted 2 interviews. One was with Eugene Fahngon, which was disastrous, and the other one was with the former vice president. And to both of them, I think I need to say something. And I think they will agree with me that we all have our rights to our opinions, and we may not always agree. And on this one, of course, the reason I'm speaking to it is because I don't agree with most of the things that Eugene Fahngon said. Amongst them would be the cost of the car, the gravitational force in the ocean, the false allegations, in my opinion, against the character of Sam Gay, the EPS boss. I want to also lend my opinion to propaganda as a whole and what people think of it. For example, the ruling on the speakership, the new money-making machine in the country, calling themselves bloggers. Of course, you know they did that nonsense about me, where people go and spend money and tell them post this, and they think a lot of people will read it, and so they just post nonsense, crap, and lies about people. Again, the sooner the Justice Ministry begin to take the actions that are necessary to restore some sense of decency in this country, then you cannot be yelling all around the place, look at Ghana, look at Rwanda, look at Burkina Faso. There's freedom of speech. And our Constitution is very clear that you will be responsible for what you say. It's not politics. You don't just get us in the morning and say the man stole 30,000 and you say it's freedom of speech, or because he's a public official so he don't have the right to say anything. They just get us in the morning. Eugene Fahngon stole, the Chinese man gave Eugene Fahngon 300,000. Of course, nobody believes in that kind of crap. But our justice ministry should begin to take actions. Okay? So they call themselves bloggers. I'll be speaking to that. So let me begin my podcast with the issue of the Supreme Court ruling. And a lot of people in this country, right? Some Liberians, honestly, are acting stupid like they never went to school. And it's hurting me, it's hurting this country, when I see people who are supposed to be educated behaving like fools. You get up in the morning, you see something on social media, you act like it's factual, like you never went to school. You don't research, you don't even read, you don't even take your time to say, I know somebody will say you sweat, you know, I'm wiping some of the oil from my face because I see my face is oily. Okay? You are a human being. You went to school. You learn, you call yourself a learned person. You read something on social media and you wake up with it, bam, it becomes your topic for the day. I'm angry with those kind of people. I'm really, really upset. You take the Supreme Court to be what? That if the Supreme Court say we will rule that they are cowards, that they're not able to give citations to cite the party, the parties, party A and party B, and say our ruling will be done on so and so day at so and so hour. So somebody say, oh, listen very carefully, Joseph Barker called a Supreme Court justice, and I have a recording to that effect. Even the center man that can be preaching this nonsense, he himself knows. After he finished talking, when he go back and people correct him, he knows it's stupidity. It is the height of stupidity. That the president will tell the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia not to give ruling on this day because they need to wait for him to intervene. In your sound mind, does that sound right? Does it sound any right, truth, or does it sound like something an educated person like you should even believe? First and foremost, the Supreme Court is not a human being. It is a system or a branch of government, for a better word. There are 5 justices on that bench. So there is no way you can pick up telephone and call the Supreme Court. It is not a human being. And if you have to call a person at the Supreme Court, that person alone cannot take a decision for the court. Are you mad? Why we can act like we don't go to school? Why we can act like we dull, we don't know book? I got a recording. The president picked up the phone, he called the Supreme Court that they should no decision at the Supreme Court on the bench level where a hearing occurred before the, I'm quoting the word, full bench. That one person there will decide for the bench. There where you can know the man who talking the thing is said, he ain't go to school. He dog. Oh, I got a recording. The days of saying that you got the recording are over. Play the recording if you're man enough and you want the people to trust you, and believe in you, play the recording. Today, some seditions are running around that you can lie your way to an elections. That's what the topic they got. Which means, Spoon TV help United Party run a campaign based on lie. But if you ask a sedition to tell you what lie the CDC gave to the Liberian people, that you can stand today, beat your chest, and say the United Party people and the alliance lie. What lie? That auditors that lie. That you harmonize people's salary, that lie. That 11 million for the rice to subsidize rice, that will lie. That 30 million for the stimulus package, that will lie. That the people mounting money, that will lie. That you were running a southeastern cabal where the president was from the southeast, the speaker was from the southeast, the deputy speaker was from the southeast, chief justice from the southeast, finance minister from the southeast. I'm going to go on and on and on and on and on. That will lie. The human being will not lady. Or that we will come to rescue the country. That one phrase, which was catchy, was it a lie? I sit at LBS. Have we not rescued LBS? Is it a lie? Come if you say we have not rescued LBS, so we can debate. We have rescued the water sector. Everybody praising Mo Ali. So, have we not rescued or is rescuing? Let me use the word rescuing. Are we not rescuing the water sector? Are we not rescuing LBS? Are we not rescuing LPRC? Has there ever been a gasoline shortage? Or have we not enjoyed lower prices in fuel prices? Are we not rescuing the commerce sector of the country? Because if prices are dropping, you're rescuing the commerce sector. Has there been a shortage of rice, petroleum product, as it was? Are we not rescuing? Are we not rescuing pay to employees? Do we owe employees? Are we not rescuing the health sector? That you stole 800,000 US from the people drug money. Are there shortages of drugs, or do you hear people complaining as they used to complain before? Are we not rescuing that? LEC, where people were dying in their houses since we took over, are we not rescuing the electricity sector? We've had 88 megawatts. We broke grounds for 20 megawatts, another 75 megawatts, and now became on 250 megawatts. Are we not rescuing? How many people can talk about armed robbery every night in this country? Are we not rescuing? Motorcycles moving all around the place. I said here and there. People here bossing. There is control mechanism in the city. Are we not rescuing? Morovia dirty, Morovia stink. Look at Center Street. Now you say Morovia is even a little bit clean. If you can say that, are we not rescuing? Pinsville City Corporation and all the builders of Pinsville, look at the work they do every day. Are we not rescuing? Mines and energy, unwelcome pay, stringent measures, moving into areas. Are we not rescuing? What lie did we tell the Liberian people? That somehow you can boast. Where are we stealing from and not prosecuting? A government minister buys a car, 100,000. The president said it was a wrong judgment. They could have bought some other vehicles. Took action. LRRC, the refugee group, he took action. no car or whatever. He took action. Where can you say you lie to the country? Where? Nothing is going to be perfect. If you want to know about lies, then challenge me. So then we can go back to the past government and make a comparative analysis when it comes to lie. And then see whether in your first year, you said people should what? Change for hope. 6 years later, you show they should now hope for change. That is a summary of real lie. Where one day, you look at me and say, I should change for hope. I change to get hope. After you dash my cheek, after you dash my hope, because you told me to change for hope. You dash my hope after 6 years. Then you say, I should now hope for a change. And that's when the Liberian people say, no. We change for that hope. After 6 years, then you say we must be hoping for change? No. We change for that hope, and if we cannot get the hope, then we will hope for a change in another person. And they were right. And they were right. So, we cannot be educated people and let people be pushing us around with lies. You say you're having an interview. You don't interview everybody every night. But when you get targeted people, you shut everybody down. Only you alone and the person will arrange. Then you interview the person and ask them the question you want to ask them. So tonight, I, Eugene Fahngon, we play the interview, let the Liberian people be the judge. Let the Liberian people be the judge. Okay? Eugene Fahngon goes on air and say, each one of the vehicle the president bought was 1.2 million. After the fact checking, he started to laugh. It's not funny. It's not funny. When you lie like that, who do you expect to believe you when you lie like that? Now, we can see the roads. When I came back to Liberia, President Weah stopped the road to rehab right in front of ORU Veldano Hotel. I challenged any sedition to prove me wrong. That's where the quota was starting. I was here when the road began. Me and Magay used to go all around showing the roads. I challenged them because the video stayed there. From EWA Junction to Rehab Junction in 3 years. In Boaka first year, in 1 year, Boaka whipped the road from Rehab Junction to Dwazon. What you want to say? Who the liar? From where you can PV EWA Junction to Rehab Junction, there where the road start, you pave it right to your junction, finish kaput. This president took it from Rehab Junction straight into Dwazon. And it's coming from the airport now to connect. So who the liar? What's the lie? Because when you challenge them on the fact, they run away. Tonight, I'm going to do something with even Madam Joy Howard Taylor, where I want you to listen. And I'm going to be done briefly. But before I go there, let me state for the record, me I will show things and respond to it. I can show it and respond to it. I don't like DC. So, you don't have to look at her. I will play, I'll press it. Because I want you to see my face. You can see there. Okay? Right there, right? Okay. So I will press it and look at you right in your face and respond. So let's play it. Let me make sure the volume button is up. Thank you. Madam, let me hear you. I'm a citizen, madam. I have due respect for you. But I think we sometimes call a spade a spade. Folks, I will be looking for something in Madam Taylor's interview which I will point to you. Then we'll go back to the other side as members of the Intelligentsia for the ultimate debate where I will show you proof that the madam did not tell the story the way the story should have been told, factually. All right? Oh, sorry. Come on.
As former vice president.
Okay.
Let's start with you as former vice president. Are you receiving all your benefit due you as former vice president?
You hear the question? Let's talk about you as former vice president. Are you receiving all your benefits as former vice president? So we don't check the question, okay? I want you to hear it again. Are you receiving all your benefits as former vice president? Because in the second video I will show where she called to clarify, she will say that I said just benefit. No, that was not the case, Madam Vice President. You answered the question that you were not getting all your benefits. And we will prove that. All right, let's start the question all over, Mr. Witherspoon. Ask the question.
Let's start with you as former vice president. Are you receiving all your benefit due you as former vice president?
And Stanton, in passing, because I don't want people to say that was the reason I came on the show.
Okay.
The reason I'm here is to talk about some of the lapses and to give some advice as to what government could do to make it better for our people, because we all live here.
All right, the first thing I want to respond to talk about some of the lapses and to give some advice as to what government do better because we live here. I mean, just because you were kicked out of office does not mean you lost your senses. You still got some good advice, and anybody in good sense could listen and take that advice. I wish you had used those advices to kind of make it better for us then, for which we would not have changed to say, we want a new leader. I mean, all that knowledge could have been used during your time. But again, it's better late than never. Your advice could help, and it could be utilized. I mean, we can't throw that away. So let's go back to the question. Are you receiving all your benefits as vice president? You said, I don't want that to overshadow the show. Like, okay, we understand that. Let's get to the question now.
But in passing, this is an issue that I've raised at many levels. The first letter was sent to His Excellency the President on the fact that I was getting remuneration as a former senator, and I should be getting benefits as a former vice president, which I'm not getting.
You hear it? I should be getting benefits as a former vice president, which I'm not getting. I'm getting remuneration as a senator. Now, you left the senatorial seat 6 years ago. Were you taking senatorial pay when you were vice president? Absolutely not. And there is no way, if we are supposed to pay you benefits, that we will now pay you as a senator when you have been taking pay for 6 years as vice president. Even in the system, that will not work. Because when we go back to pay your benefit, everything about you would be vice president, not senator. Senator left you, senatorial seat left you 6 years ago. How is that possible? That's something you should have explained. But you were clear, I am not getting my benefits as vice president like I should. But in the other video, you will talk about who named on the list with George Weah and Ellenden. And it clearly stated there, vice president. So, when you trying to mislead the public, when you spoke on that day, madam, there are some of us who are so well trained to pick up the rhetoric, decipher it, like I am doing. And in the other video, you will hear where she will say, no, I didn't say that. I said I was not getting my just benefit. No, you said you were being paid as a senator, which of course will not be possible. But then you say you should be getting your benefits as a former vice president. On the list or the letter you praise, your name is there as former vice president, and it does not say senator. So the issue of just benefit is not there. The issue there is whether or not you stated that you did not receive your just benefit. You did not answer the question that way. I am going to go back a step for the people to hear you to say, no, I want the people to hear it for themselves.
I should be getting benefits as a former vice president, which I'm not getting.
Period.
There are benefits in terms of salary, there are benefits in terms of vehicle.
Which you are not getting. Which you are not getting. That's where the debate is. That is your complaint, that you are a vice president, you are not getting that benefit. And you say you are receiving remuneration as a former senator. But during your tenure as vice president, you did not receive a senator's pay. You received a vice president's pay. So if there is any benefit for a vice president, I think that is the debate. But to tell the public that the remuneration you're receiving is for senator, I don't think senators get that kind. We need to be clear with our people when we talk to them. Okay? Let's continue.
That I haven't gotten. There are benefits in terms of some staffing that should be allocated to me to make my life easier, because that is the way the law is written.
You see, she's very firm that she should be getting staffers and other things. She didn't say because that's it. She said because that is the way the law is written. Because Madam Vice President noticed that that would have angered a lot of Liberians. That you didn't do the job, that a Liberian will fire you, and they must continue to pay you lucrative sums of money. Gave you staffer, gave you everything, but you didn't do their jobs. And that issue will be raised later. So let's hear.
Still an issue I've written everybody, the speaker, the president pro tempore, I've written the president, I've written the minister of state, I've written the minister of finance, and I've written recently I wrote the minister of justice about the issue, missing the fact that there are benefits being paid at the Supreme Court level. You know, the former justices are getting half of the pay of the Supreme Court justices, and they have their vehicles and their benefits of staffers. I'm still not yet getting that.
I'm still not yet getting that. Second confirmation that she's not getting her benefits. Not getting adequate amounts or not getting adequate benefits is not the same as not getting benefits at all. And that was the question. You can say, I'm getting nothing. Then you say, the amount I'm supposed to get, I'm not getting, they are getting small. Which one is what? Now, the Supreme Court is a different branch of government. It's a different branch of government. They have their own budget. In the executive, we have our own budget. The budget is a law. What I don't understand is why the comparison. Why? Okay, so we continue from that note.
If the inauguration and I was stuck on the floor. When I walked out of the inauguration, there was now one vehicle left to take me home. So
this is where members of the Intelligentsia who've been calling me say, Eugene, you need to reconvene our program and our podcast. You don't worry, I'll come to JMB. They asked me, was the vice president, former vice president, serious to say when she left the floor, there was not a single vehicle to take her home? Was she serious? I said she was serious. There was a transitional team, and everybody in this country know that the JMB team complained that they were not getting cooperation from the George Weah team. Molu resigned. I think 2 or 3 other persons, John Molu, all of them resigned from the JMB team because the other people were not cooperating. True or false? You were the vice president up to 12 p.m. that day. You were the vice president. What arrangements did you make? Because you knew you would cease to be vice president as of 12 midday. What arrangements did you make? You were the one with the checkbook, the staff, and everybody. What arrangement did you make? So why blame this administration, who at the time of the incident was what? 5 minutes old. Not one day. They were not even 1 day in office. 5 minutes in office. You blame them for not providing car for you to go home? Does that in any way make sense to you, the members of the Intelligentsia, that a government that is 5 minutes old be blamed for not taking a former vice president home 5 minutes after she lost her job? We cannot continue to act like we didn't go to school. That people can just talk to us and we buy anything. Anything.
Sat under a tree in front of the mansion. I waited almost 45 minutes before a private vehicle.
I will go back. If you sat on a tree for 45 minutes before a private vehicle could come to get you, madam, there is something wrong with that picture. And as a brother to you, I will be careful to tell you that statement should not have been made. It was not in your favor. As a former vice president, if you have to sit on a tree for 45 minutes before a private vehicle can take you home, there is something wrong with that picture. It means you were totally disconnected from your colleagues in the government. There was a chief justice there. There were 4 associate chief justices. They didn't lose their seats or their jobs. There was a speaker and a deputy speaker. Or, if you like, there were members of the legislature, the judiciary. There were your friends, your business friends, associates. You see why I told you about people who didn't get sense? We just played the tape, and the woman clearly said, no, Stanton, I didn't receive it. Another man came back, he honored it. She never said she wasn't receiving it. But how ignorant some people can be. All of you right here, we just play it. Because that's the part I wanted everybody to hear for themselves. Another ignorant person can say, no, she never said, so don't come here to lie. The people I'm talking about here. And the people are talking about. I showed a video, yeah, it right there, it's on Spoon TV Network, it's right there. You are here, but you're not here. This place is called the Intelligentsia. It's not the stupid people area here. Please. Carry your trouble to the stupid people who can just talk stupidity. Okay? Now.
Pick me up. And that's the same situation today. I ride my private vehicle. I haven't been giving a vehicle for security or a proper vehicle.
No. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. We will allow the folks to understand what exactly you just said. You went for the inauguration in your vice president vehicle. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Then what happened with the vehicle that took you to the inauguration?
By the time I got outside to go home, the entire convoy had been shifted to the current vice president. There was not one vehicle left to take me home.
So again, we beg the question, Madam, as vice president, what did you do so that after 12 midday, when you're no longer vice president, you would have been taken home? I know I have seen, I've seen the EPS officers that were assigned to the vice president, they were still with her. Andrew and others are still with the vice president. I don't know whether they are on payroll, but they stay there. Okay? Now, folks, I am going to go back to bring the second video, and then I will show it to you. But now you can't listen. You call that other idiot here because I'm about to play the second video. And you see the second video? You see it there on my screen? Like it on right here. You can see me showing the cursor. You see the whole place black? I don't know if you can see my finger. Yeah, it right here. And what we're doing here, this is the speaker place right here. We press it.
Millions of dollars. I'm standing on the issue of.
I stopped it. Okay. So I'm hoping we'll go back. If I can get the cursor to take it back, I want you to listen.
The rule of law and what is right for them to be paid. What they are paying these retirement benefits are not what they are supposed to be paying. And they need to make an amends and say, okay, we don't have the money to pay $500,000 to a president. What can you pay that will be just compensation instead of trying to make it look like someone is lying? So I don't know what the hatred and the animosity is about.
You see, you make it look like someone is lying. That's when the people publish. Because she said she was not getting it at all. You heard me, I play. So the person said, no. She can't say that. Here it is. Y'all in there. Then she said, no, I didn't say I was not getting my benefit. I said I wasn't getting my just benefit. No, Madam Vice President, that's why I played the tape again. That's why I played the tape again. You said, no, you were not getting your benefits. And on that paper, it shows your name as Vice President. So if what they're giving you is not what you expected, then you have the right to question it. You wrote Speaker, President, Justice Minister, pro tempore. If you're not getting results, you keep talking about the rule of law, then you go to court. Then you go to court. Why are you writing all these people when you can just go to court? You're talking about $500,000 for a president as benefit. Someone needs to explain that one. Because we are citizens. We are citizens. And we fire you from a job because You were not performing. We fired you. You came by and said, give me 6 more years. We said, no, you are fired. And you want to collect $500,000 United States dollars? Just like that? For real? Let me hear you again, because we're going to come back to this.
One power, they're not in power. And as I said when I spoke, they now need to go on the rescue tree and do the right things. Last year we didn't do anything right. They need to start to do the right things according to the rule of law. Look.
They need to do the right thing according to the rule of law. What does the law say? The law says when you are aggrieved, you go to court. I wrote the justice minister, I wrote the speaker, I wrote the president, I wrote the pro tem. That's not what the law says. If you want a rule of law, go to court. Go to court. It's simple. But a person, let them go on the rescue tree, and do the right thing. Then I'm tempted to ask, did you do the right thing? Because if you did the right thing, you wouldn't be out of office today. The man you people, the government you're writing, and the man you're writing, it's the same one you're paid $800 for the whole 6 years he was sitting at. You're paying $800 every month. And he was vice president for 12 years. As members of the Intelligentsia, a man who was vice president for 12 years was paid $800. A woman who was vice president for only 4 years should be paid what? Equal work for equal pay, the law says. So if your government paid Joseph Boakai $800 for being vice president for 12 years, if you were vice president for only half of the 12 years, members of the Intelligentsia, how much should we pay her? If you ain't answer, I will not continue to play her tape. You guys must answer. If Joseph Boakai served for 12 years, and Joel Howard Taylor and George Weah pay him $800 every month after serving for 12 years, how much should Joel Howard Taylor make serving for only 6 years? If you don't answer, we're not going anywhere. George Brown. No, we don't repeat it wrong. We're doing math. That math. The man served for 12 years. Their government felt that he was only supposed to make $800. They paid him $800 for the 6 years they were in power. She served for only 6 years. How much is supposed to pay her? You see the math people putting on the feet? The law says equal work for equal pay. Joseph Boakai did 12 years as VP. Joel and Madam Josh, President Weah, former President Weah, they pay him $800 per month. Now she only served 6 years. Everybody who doing the math say she should get $400. Equal work for equal pay. They did not do equal work. Joe Boakai did 12 years. She paid him $800. Now she did 6 years. Look, they got you. So oh, man. Look. The old man worked as vice president for 12 years. You and President, we are paying $800 per month. You work for only 6. The man said, well, in our 800, 6 plus 6 make 12 years. So that means every 6 years they pay me 400. Oh, you did 6 years. Look. So, but let's take the fun out. Let's take the fun out of it. Let's get back to some serious business. Let's get back to some serious business. Sometimes you just have to laugh because some of these things. Look, oh God, let me play this thing.
So our country has come because people don't want to follow the rules of law. I think it's sad. At no point did I state that I have not received any payment from government.
Hey, you see, at no point did I say I have not received any payment from government. That's why in the beginning, I played the whole interview so you can hear for herself that no Stanton have not received my benefits. I played. One in your first interview, you said no Stanton have not received anything. Ambassador Gons, we answer Liberian story 240. I'm telling you, so that you get me to laugh. But the old man worked for 12 years as vice president. Y'all get the old man 800. You want to do half of the 12 years, then he say you want to the old man worked for 2 The old man worked for 12 years. You're getting, as VP, you're getting 800. You're getting over 800 for VP for 12 years. You want to do 6 years. I'm sorry. This is only intentional. But it's so funny. I didn't think about it that way. It just came to the podcast. I'm sorry. I had to laugh. How could I go? I'm sorry. Oh my God. Look at the funny. Look, I'm on fire. The country has to regain. Let me listen to them. Let's see. Uh-oh. Sometimes when they say I'm offline, I think they put me offline. Oh man. Sometimes you just have to let me refresh it. I know tomorrow all the bloggers then will take and cut it, we'll laugh, and then they fall on me, but that's it. Oh my God. The woman worked for 12, Vanisaki, the woman worked for 12 years, Vanisaki, as vice president. For the 6 years, President, we are in dual work. Every month they were paying the woman 800. A man who worked for 12 years as vice president. Now, you only work for 6, which is half of 12 years. You pay the old man 800 for 12 years. I think the people somewhere in finance ministry or somewhere say, well, 12 years, 800, like what we made there, but then 6 years like 4. Look, man, folks, we gotta try in this country for real. We gotta try. You know, somebody not jump in my computer and freeze the whole thing, but no problem. They can work like that. I got problem with it. They won't work. They can work like that. Let me see if I can get it from this here. Then y'all will play that from you can take that one. Let me take it from here. Yeah. I don't know why you will stop the one. But Liberian people need to know the truth. Let's see if this is it. Oops, not it. Okay, go. Let's try it.
Somebody made a comment about the fact that it's becoming a vendetta now between Unity Party and CDC. And that when one person takes power, everybody else got to go underneath the ground. When the other one takes power, the other one, and for him, he wants like a whole new system to evolve so that vendetta and the hatred will end. And maybe it's because my name is Joe Howard Taylor. I don't know. People think I have millions of dollars. I'm standing on the issue of the rule of law and what is right for them to be paid. What they are paying these retirement benefits are not what they are supposed to be paying. And they need to make an amends and say, okay, we don't have the money to pay $500,000 to a president. What can you pay that would be just compensation instead of trying to make it look like someone is lying? So I don't know what the hatred and the animosity is about. They want power, they're not in power, and as I said when I spoke, they now need to go on the rescue train and do the right things. Last year we didn't do anything right. They need to start to do the right things according to the rule of law. Look how far our country has come because people don't want to follow the rules of law. I think it's sad. At no point did I state that I have not received any payment from government. You posted the checks. I said I have been receiving payments from government. It is not my just benefit. And let me be clear.
Stop there.
My just benefit.
You didn't say that. That's why I played the video from the interview. You said no, Stanton, I've not received any benefits. Now in this second one where you calling to clarify, I didn't say I did not receive my just benefit. That's not what you said in the beginning. That's why I played the tape for everybody to hear it. Now in this one, if you get the money.
So the law that I am relying on that is still in effect is 2 vehicles. I'm entitled to staffers, and I'm entitled to retirement benefits that are supposed to be given to people at a higher level.
Okay.
Let me go down to the next level. The next issue is the pension law that provides these retirement benefits for those at a higher level that I'm depending on. There's also a pension law from NASCOP. The payments from NASCOP center are paid from NASCOP's account. It is not this payment that is being paid by government.
Okay, so you keep talking about benefits. You go to pension. Have you reached the age to be pensioned? I'm just asking though. I don't know. And I can't fault her for that. Or have you served the length of time to be pensioned by government? I don't know. That's something that needs clarity. And I'll be glad to have the clarity.
Ministers and the other people providing this information trying to mislead the country. If you guys don't have the money to pay, then you have to negotiate a settlement like Ellen Salif did with her tenure and see how we can live in a decent way. But they shouldn't make me look like I'm a crazy person. I'm not crazy. And when I got on the radio on Sunday, I was not lying. I was speaking the truth. I was in the Senate when we passed this law. So I know the law you're talking about. This law, however, does not negate the fact that as former vice president, I am entitled to these benefits. And it's these benefits I'm talking about. I said,
you see, you were in the Senate when you passed the law. But when you became vice president and it was Joe Barker's time, then the law was not applicable to him. Then you're getting $800 and took everything away from him. But now that you are out, now you know the law. That's my only thing. If you in your government paid somebody, you felt it was fair to pay him $800 for serving as vice president for 12 years, it's just my personal question. Why is it not fair for them to give you $400 for 6 years? Let's take the fun out of it. First, you made everybody feel sorry for you that you were not getting your benefits. They stripped you of everything. You walked off the floor and sat under a tree for 45 minutes. That's what you made the Liberian people believe, Madam Vice President. And since that time, you've not gotten anything. I played your tape. You've written the Justice Minister, the Pro Tem, the Speaker, the Finance Minister, everybody you've written to no avail. That's how the country developed the pity for you. Now you come back after the government released the document, you say, no, I did not tell you I was not getting benefits. I said I did not get my just benefits. That's two different things. That's two different things. And so, it's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. We cannot continue to mislead our people, make them angry. And then when we get busted, we come back and change the story. And I don't think President Boakai wants to hold your benefits. No. I think you need to be clear with the Liberian people. And if you think it's not fair, you go to court. You're a lawyer. You go to court. There's somebody saying, handle 30K for hospital bills. You know, I don't know if these things are true, but I don't think you were fair with the Liberian people, Madam Vice President. I'm just saying, I don't think you were fair with the Liberian people. I don't think so. You made us believe that you did not get your just benefit. And that is a fact. We can't change it. It is what it is. So folks, I just thought to come. For me, you know me. I'll play the tape. You hear it with your own ear. I go back and find the evidence. I bring it. While I listen to my friend Eugene Fahngon telling Stanton that the gravitational force under the ocean pulled the cable. Hey, Eugene Fahngon, you too, man. You hear about the ocean flow. You hear about under-ocean currents. Gravitational force has to do with pulling something from up there back to Earth. When we were in school, we learned about gravitational force. 9.81 meters per second square. They beating the game to learn that one. Why? They had to demonstrate to us. Why when you chunk something up, it can't stay there. It can come down. It's because the force of gravity. If you chunk something up, it comes down. Like Grandpa said, what goes up must come down. But again, we learn about gravitational force in explaining the issue with the cable, the internet cable, and the PHP pack. He dramatized the whole thing until he talked about. And so Stanton, they quote under the ocean, the gravitational force. I said, see the other man, see the other man, see the other man. I want to go find that thing and play it for you so you can laugh. You cannot continue to mislead the Liberian people talking about gravitational force. You know what gravitational force is? Even for the real straight out definition, instead of giving you the Liberian definition, Madam Joel, I'm going to go continue with that thing because I know, you know, G-R-A-T-A-T-R-O-N-L-L, gravitational force is fundamental interaction primarily observed as a mutual attraction between all things that have mass, which is like saying weight. Okay? Gravity is the force by which a planet or other body draws object towards its center. Okay? The force of gravity keeps all of the planets in orbit around the sun. Then you say gravitational force in the ocean force the cable to come, what you call gravitational force in ocean. Under ocean currents. But when your spirit kind of BB boat, chunk it to the people, they say, huh? Gravitational force. Yeah, whatever, man. Same thing to the people, one of the cars cost 1.2 million. Where? They go fact checking now, he started laughing, he made it of fun. You want to see real liars? You want to see real liars? check with my friends. Before I close this video, I have a piece of advice for those of you who jump behind my brother. I'm my own brother that will come from one man, one partner. Molu. Molu then, they have to understand the agitation with CDC that brought CDC to power cannot be the agitation today to bring Stan or any political power, a party to power. Enlightenment is taking place in Liberia too fast for you to think, or how you call them, petty traders to come and put down the road because they demanded taxes from them. You need to go do your homework and find out whether petty traders are paying taxes to LRA office every month or yearly and do this and that. Man Vopo selling for Grampy, passing around in or Willow Market that the one will go register, or Grampy well at 400 for all what she's doing it with a small tomato cup, what a mash. I don't know. It can't be that way. You gotta find another way. That way not there. One of the fundamental reasons why no strike action or protest can succeed is because the people can see. But tomorrow, my group getting ready to head to the southeast. Work has begun on the satellite. I love it. Hopefully by next week, my president will come here to inspect the television and radio expansion project. We're not waiting. I don't wait. They played another joke. Go to the Ministry of Finance. Go see the work that people are doing there. Go to Mines and Energy to Women Pay. You will think you in Europe. Just go there. Go to Information Ministry on Jeremy Pierre. You see that in that board office, how they call it, the POP, the way the lights inside all. Compared to the dirty place that was there. You go there. I gave you 3 ministries I say you must go to. Then come back and tell me those 3 ministries in rescue. I will resign. Go to the Ministry of Finance, Mines and Energy, Information and tell me in rescue. I will resign. Can you say they need to tell the people what kind of rescue they need to do? You don't know. You don't know. May God bless the nation and save the state. We need to be fair with our people. Last but not the least, one gentleman by the name of Lawrence Chair wrote a whole bunch of crap on how the president was supposed to go to True FM, and Eugene Fahngon went and stopped the president, and he was very bitter against it. He caused the president go to True FM. What did I know about all that thing? I didn't even know about your thing. If you think I'm so powerful to stop the president from going to True FM, then you are just another one of those misguided individuals that need psychiatric evaluation. I'm not near the mansion, way in peace. I don't know anything about what's going on. And don't think the president will run away from True FM. That muppet or monkey in True FM that he will run away. He looks like a scarecrow. A person will be answering questions for 42 years. Will now run away from 2 guys who started 3 years ago. But you see, when you get upset about something like this, and write social lies about Eugene Fahngon, Y'all, thank you for making me, because even though I go to sleep, I keep my mouth shut, I don't talk much nowadays, you still prop me up. A Chinese man giving me 300,000. I start being president. I'm doing this. Well, I'm important. Okay? But this country that we're in, you're told your own for 1 year. This second year, by the end of the second year, you will not tell you. You know what happened? I'm controlling television and radio in this country. And you see how I can do the analysis. So, did that make a talk? The reason why I'm not talking too much because talk is cheap. All of y'all talking everywhere on this internet. You're talking. Like in George A.B. son. Why y'all talking to men? They're running with a camera on the road. Theater share, theater traffic. Yellow, oh, he has become so famous because he refused to argue with you. He will just show you. You ain't get no talk. He will just show you what JM be doing. Go hug the transformer. Good night.